on our website. Our municipal offices will be closed on Monday, January 20th, in observance of Martin Luther King Day. There'll be numerous events around town, so please attend in his honor and memory. Also want to have a moment of silence for the passing of retired Police Lieutenant Robert Adamelli, also a father of two other retired police officers. Council met in closed session to discuss the following: 1, board interviews; 2, the potential sale of township property; 3, personnel; 4, contracts; 5, public gatherings; 6, legal issues and opinions regarding any opens on the open session agenda; 7, litigation updates; and finally, Oprah. Coming right to the mayor's announcement. Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by resolution.
Not that part. Sorry. I'm so sorry. The mayor's announcement I read, when you're done with that, Mayor Schwartz, you could start going right into our regular business, starting with presentations.
Excellent. Thank you.
Sorry about that. No problem, Mayor. And we have no presentations on this evening, so then we go to work session
Work
items.
sessions, items, miscellaneous. Anyone? Work session items?
I do have one.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just a request in terms of I'd like to request that our attorney, along with our planner, look into what are the possibilities of a design ordinance that we can look at in terms of just as we approached many different applications throughout town, throughout our different land use boards. Would like to see, just from a research perspective, Mr. Mayor, to see how we can really address designs as it pertains to different applications that we're having throughout town. I know the master plan, of course, does speak to a little bit to design, but I'd like to see, our comparison of what we can do in terms of looking at how other towns, what are the best practices when it comes to looking at designs, being conducive to the types of areas of our town. So if we could perhaps maybe do some research, Mr. Attorney, with our planner, that would be wonderful.
Not a problem. We can look into that.
If you give us information, if that's in legalities as well, because what I like, what she may like, or what he may like, may be not constitutional.
Fair enough.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Mayor. please.
so usually, I just wanted to ask when you want to do this, because usually we make nominations, and I would like to make a nomination for Class 4 Planning Board seat for Alan Sohn, but I know we usually do that in miscellaneous or new, and I was just asking for some clarification on when that would be.
So I think we're going to do that, or we think we should do that under the Personnel Committee report.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So we'll do that under reports by a committee. That's done. We'll go into old business. I announced this to council. I'll announce it right now. Parkside Lane sales activity. As everyone may know, that as Luba, as I announced, they were at a sold out stage. The property's been sold out, and it's all the properties are going on the tax rolls. They're looking at annual tax approximately $15,000 each for the non-affordable units. The affordable units are based on a component of how much you paid for it. So that project has been closed out. And 329 Alfred Avenue, for those who know, that is right by Decatur Avenue. It's 255 units. That has opened. Leasing has begun. Moving has begun. That is a pilot. And we'll be talking with our budget committee later on as to what we're going to forecast from that. But if anyone wants to stop by for a tour, go ahead. They're open, and it's a great addition to Teaneck. Anyone else in old business? New business. I guess we have it listed right here. So why don't we start with personnel right here? It was listed here. Council subcommittee.
Sure. So Personnel Subcommittee met last week, I believe it was on Wednesday at 9 a.m. to conduct some additional interviews for open advisory board positions. Further, we held full council interviews today during closed. We interviewed 14 individuals who are interested in serving on the advisory boards. We would like to, Doug, is this a walk-on? So, let me clarify. So the way that our advisory board appointment system works is that we ask that new volunteers come in for an interview with the personnel subcommittee. And then there are recommendations that they be interviewed with full council, which we just did today. And then once that happens, we will, at the next council meeting, we'll make a nomination for those seats. And then at the following meeting, we will make an appointment for the seats. So it takes 3 council meetings to officially go through the process. I just want to be clear on that. For the planning board, we already held full council interviews last week. And we also have a couple of reappointments for the Board of Adjustment. So we're going to make nominations for those seats today. For all the other advisory board positions, we did not interview them. We interviewed them today, so we're going to wait until next week to nominate those. So I just wanted to make that crystal clear for everyone. So I'm going to go forward with those nominations if that's okay. All right. So for Board of Adjustment, we'd like to reappoint Letitia Williams for a full member seat, term of January 1st, 2025 to 12/31/2026. Victoria Wilkerson, we'd like to reappoint for the alternate 3 seat, term of 1/1/25 to 12/31/26. Now for planning board, we'd like to nominate 4 individuals. First, I'll do the nomination that came from Councilman Pagan. It's Alan Sohn for the Class 4 member seat, January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2028. We'd also like to reappoint Howard Thompson for the same seat, Class 4 member seat, January 1st, 2025 to 12/31/2028. We'd like to reappoint Yehuda Cohn for the Class 4 EC seat, Environmental Committee seat, January 1st, 2025 to 12/31/2027. We'd like to reappoint Daryl Green for the alternate 1 seat, January 1st, 2025 to 12/31/2026. Those are the 6. Yes,
That's a motion.
yes.
It is a second. And this
Do
is to
nomination.
consider resolutions at the next meeting, correct?
Can I ask a question? Mr. Clerk, last year you had sent us a list of people that had financial disclosure statement violations. There was 2. One is no longer on the board, but I believe one of them is one of them that was appointed. How are we handling that? I think they were fined.
There was a couple folks who lapsed. I am not recalling their names off the top of my head, but we have been reminding them as we are reminded by the state. We receive periodic notifications if someone is indeed out of compliance.
And
And when-
are we allowed to reappoint them? Or that's not a requirement? There's no connection between the two?
I don't believe so, Mr. Salmon. I don't believe if someone does not file that FDS that it precludes them from your appointment.
So we can
But
remind them in
Scott
writing.
could correct me if I'm wrong. I'm
That's
not-
correct, but they are, they are, they can continue to be fined for their.
Personally, yeah,
So they're being
they're
fined,
fined
so they are being fined.
personally. And yeah, so
Got it.
they should
Well, I
fix
don't know if
that.
they had been fined, but they,
They're
are
eligible to be
eligible.
fined by others.
Yeah.
State. Got it. Okay, so I'll second that.
It was second.
Oh, sorry, second.
Yeah,
right,
it's all,
so
it's all good. So then I'm going to go down the roll just to have this be considered at our follow-up meeting. And that is,
Hey, we're doing left to right.
yes,
Can we
council.
do this one at a time?
Yeah, let's do it one at a time. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, please.
So first for Board of Adjustment, this is Letitia Williams.
So a roll for just Letitia, Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes, I'm Letitia.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
second. Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz, Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Councilwoman, Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Forgive my brain recollecting the names from the last one. Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
All right, so that's a yes for Letitia,
Next is Victoria Wilkerson.
also BOA. And what position was Letitia Williams, Danielle?
Full member,
Victoria Wilkerson is
expired alt 3, alternate 3.
so this is for Victoria Wilkerson, alt 3. The motions and seconds are the same. Councilwoman Goldberg,
No, in light of her failure to file financial disclosure statements in 2023 and 2024.
Councilman Pagan, Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz, Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Ready for Victoria. There was another one, correct?
Yes, now Planning Board. Reappointment for Howard Thompson, Class 4 member.
And now Howard Thompson, Class 4 Chair, or just Class 4. We have Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
We have Councilman Pagan. Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz. Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Yes for Howard on the PB, Class 4.
Next is Yehuda Cohn, Class 4 Environmental Commission rep.
We have Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan, Councilwoman G, Councilman Katz, Deputy Mayor Belcher, Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yes for Yehuda.
Next, it's the reappointment of Daryl Green for alternate 1.
Daryl for old. Councilwoman G. Oh, I'm so sorry. Councilwoman Goldberg,
No.
Councilman Pagan. Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz. Deputy Mayor Belcher.
No.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
We'll see a resolution for Daryl. Who is next?
Alan Stone for a Class 4 member seat.
There's no more seats.
You can nominate more than one person to a seat. You specifically said you want a Class 4, right? Unless you want to change that.
I think you can still nominate.
Yes.
She said, yeah.
What would be the steps then? Can we clarify what the,
So
how
next,
does this work?
There's going to be resolutions that come up against.
So it's just symbolic. Okay.
For Alan Stone, Class 4, Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan, Councilwoman G,
yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
No.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
We'll see a resolution next meeting. For Alan, Class 4.
That's all 6. That's everyone.
All right, cool. So all those are good for resolutions at the following meeting. That was under our new business, and I believe now is the subcommittees. 2025 to 2026
personnel.
council subcommittees.
Councilwoman G? Or that's actually in the back. We have that already presented. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's all in the packet for council and the public's education.
Now, is this listed under consent agenda?
We will need to walk it in.
Mr. Mayor, before we do that, I would like to amend the resolutions to, and I'm going to move this to eliminate all subcommittees and handle all matters as a body of the whole.
Second.
Sorry, Sorry about that, Councilwoman Goldberg. May you repeat that?
I'm amending the subcommittees to making a motion to eliminate all subcommittees and have them be heard as a body of the whole.
So thank you. And seconded by Councilman Pagan. So this is a motion to amend the subcommittee list.
Yep, so they would all be eliminated and everything would be handled as a body of a whole like it used to be.
Understood. We have Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilwoman G,
No.
Councilman Katz,
No.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
No.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
No.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
It-
Four.
It's, yeah, the motion dies.
What do you know?
Can I ask a question? When were these discussed? Because I don't recall ever discussing these at all. When was this decided? It just seems like it was put on the agenda.
Personnel, somebody you listed those personnel, something, correct?
Subcommittees of
not-
personnel?
It's not on the consent agenda, Councilwoman
It's not yet on
Goldberg.
the sub, it's not yet on the consent agenda. So the next motion, that
So,
motion fails, so there'll be a motion to.
right, but since when are subcommittees assigned by personnel?
Personnel listed it. We have a vote right now to see if we want to agree with your listing and list it in the consent agenda. Floor is yours if you want to make any changes.
Mr. Mayor, can I chime in?
I'm sorry.
So I sent a draft of some subcommittee roles and I asked for feedback from each of you and it's all available to the public if we're going to walk it in right now, but it was never made by one committee. Everyone was welcome to raise their hand to participate on which subcommittee they wanted to and feedback was taken and I received some feedback from you as well, Councilwoman Goldberg, on other matters such as dais seating. So if you had any additional feedback, you were welcome to share it.
Right,
I have
so
a point.
this, emails, having a discussion like this as a subcommittee should be handled in open. It's not an email conversation. They should take place in open meetings so everyone in the public can see the process in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
These were not, in my opinion, these were just, it was a draft proposal and everyone could respond to it. And the intent was always to discuss it in public. So we can have that conversation right now.
Okay, so I would like to know how these decisions came about to make the subcommittees like this.
They're not final. We can all vote right now. None of it is final. It's just a draft.
So then I would like to change, so I heard once from Mayor Schwartz that the budget subcommittee should be the mayor and the two deputy mayors, that it's a leadership subcommittee. And so that's one of the biggest changes that I think should be made. And also I would like to make sure that we have the minutes sent to full council within 2 days of meeting and put on the website within 7 days so the public is fully aware, and have at least one open subcommittee meeting per subcommittee per year so the public can see the inner workings of the subcommittees.
Mr. Mayor, can I make a comment? Okay, I'm just going to make a comment here. So our Councilwoman G actually sent to all of us all of the subcommittees and asked for comments. And I remember responding to her. 2 points here. Number one, we have subcommittees for the purpose of efficiency within our township. And number two, I do not think it's wise to assign people to subcommittees without having their own input. Perhaps the two deputy mayors do not want to serve on the budget committee. So I think it's in our best interest to play to our strengths, play to what we want to do, play to what we have raised our hand to do. So for any of us to make an assumption that a person, one of our members wants to or needs to serve on a particular committee, subcommittee, I think is a wrong approach.
So first of all, the Open Publics Meeting Act is to ensure that decisions like this are made transparently and decisions are not made by email.
No decision.
There's no
Meaningful-
decisions. We're making decisions right now on the
Meaningful
dais.
input
So
has
let's
to be
keep
made
this
from a
conversation
council-
concise. and
I
we're
am,
gonna start pulling
Mr.
roll call.
Mayor. Anyway, so to the point of, I seem to have been assigned the next part is a liaison to an advisory board that I did not raise my hand for. So I would like to say that I do not think that, I think the budget subcommittee should be leadership.
Okay,
If Councilwoman G doesn't want to be on the Budget Subcommittee, I'm happy to take her seat on that.
well, I'm going to
Goldberg.
nominate Councilwoman Goldberg on the subcommittee for budget. I'm sorry? She said she doesn't want to be in the budget, but I'm going to nominate her. So I don't,
Second.
so is there a motion for the current list of the 23-24 subcommittees to be,
I would also like to amend the zoning subcommittee to put Deputy Mayor, Councilmember Katz on there.
Second.
I'm okay not being on the zoning subcommittee. I think the last year's zoning subcommittee did an exceptional job.
Who is that?
last year's zoning subcommittee was Councilwoman Belcher as an alternate, Mayor Pagan, myself, and Councilwoman Goldberg. And I believe this year, two other people wanted to step up. If we want to play the game, we can say everyone gets a seat at the table, but we're not going to play a game. We're going to start moving things forward tonight. So we're going to start doing roll calls, we're going to start voting on it, and we're going to move this town forward.
I'm also, by the way, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have the #1 advisory board in the whole council. Everyone knows about the youth advisory board. And I'm willing to yield that to Councilmember Goldberg if that would also please her.
No, thank you.
Okay. Right now, we're on subcommittees, though. So right now, we have in a point, there is an open, yes?
Sorry to interrupt. Councilmember Pagan, I recall you saying you were going to reach out to Councilwoman Goldberg to see if she was interested in Hackensack River Greenway.
Yeah, I
Whatever.
did. And then I told you guys, both of you guys, that she wanted to talk to you both directly. And I don't know if you guys followed up with her, but I
No.
put it, yeah, I did.
I haven't received a phone call from anyone on this dais except for Councilmember Pagan, Katz, and Schwartz.
Okay, so Councilwoman Goldberg, are you interested in serving as the Hackensack River Greenway Advisory Board liaison member?
No, I think if you look at the distribution of work on the liaisons for the advisory boards, it's a lot.
Okay, so we can remove
Is there
it.
someone
That's
else
fine.
interested in the Hackensack River Greenway Advisory Board? Or we're going to leave that blank? Is there anyone interested?
I'll do it if no one else wants to.
Okay. So, but we're going to go from the top now. Board of Education. Right now, it currently says the continuation of holdover from this year was Gene Oregon. Does that still work for everyone?
Councilmember Katz, didn't you tell me that there used to be a task force of 3 members of the council and 3 members of the Board of Ed meeting with the superintendent once a month? Why did we stop that?
So the answer is we did that when I was the mayor, but this was many years ago. I don't know the following
So
mayors.
I actually think a task force sounds good to meet with the
So-
superintendent, the Board of Ed. Let's put that as something else separately than the Board of Ed liaison. It's definitely it's something that's good to sit down and speak with the superintendent, look across the table to our trustees and our council. But if you want to talk about adding another committee task force on that, we could put that on for the 28th meeting. But right now, on the Board of Education, Gene Oregon, is there anyone else? Okay. Chamber of Commerce, Deputy Mayor Belcher, is there anyone else interested? Sierra Lane Management Group, currently Schwartz, is there anyone interested? Fields, it's currently Oregon, is there anyone interested?
Oh, I'm totally interested.
Okay,
I'll second that.
excellent. So let's do we want to do this individually, Mr. Chair? How do we want to work this? Mr. Clerk, how do we want to work this?
Well, we have proposed for Deputy Mayor Oregon, so I don't know if you guys want to.
Well,
But
right now,
that-
there's a motion to replace her with Pagan in the second.
Well, being that,
Oh,
again, this is not approved as a resolution
Okay.
yet, so we can make this change if Deputy Mayor Oregon is amenable.
Do you want?
I'm kind of happy with it. We're doing really good things there, and we've got really nice momentum, so I'd love to stay.
Is there any reason why we can't have 2?
No?
Or we'll go 2? That works? Excellent. There we go. Pagan and Oregon. Historic Preservation, currently Deputy Mayor Belcher. Is there anyone else interested? Okay. Library Board, currently Deputy Mayor Oregon. Is there anybody else interested? Environmental Commission, currently Councilwoman Goldberg. Anybody else interested? Advisory Board on Community Relations, currently Councilwoman G. Anybody else interested?
Mr. Mayor, I'd be interested in ABCR.
Okay. Do you want to call a roll call or we want to share that? Excellent. It is Councilwoman Goldberg. The clerk, tell me when you're ready.
It sounds like Councilwoman G.
I yielded it.
Yeah.
So
So
do you want a roll call or do you want to yield? Want to vote or you want to yield? Is
I say we roll call.
that what you want? Okay. So We have for the Advisory Board and Community Relations, let's do a roll call between Councilwoman G and Councilwoman Goldberg.
For
Make a
in-
motion. I'll start the motion with the one in place. I'll make a motion for Councilwoman G.
Seconded by Councilwoman G. So then we have Councilwoman Goldberg.
No.
We have Councilman Pagan.
No.
We have Council
G.
Member G.
Yes.
We have Council Member Katz.
Yes.
We have Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
We have Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
We have Mayor Schwartz.
Yes. Okay. Hackensack River Greenway is G. Goldberg gave that up to G, so I don't believe there's anyone else for that. Municipal Open Space is Councilman Goldberg. Anybody else for that? PPRAB, Councilman Goldberg. Anybody else for that? Patriotic Observance, Deputy Mayor Organ. Anybody else for that? Pride, Councilman Pagan. Anybody else for that? Senior Citizen Advisory Board, Councilwoman G. Anybody else for that? Shade Tree Advisory Board, Councilman Pagan. Anybody else for that? And Social Services Advisory Board, Councilman Pagan. Anybody else for that? I believe all our.
We also had, I apologize, Mayor, we had Stigma Free with Councilwoman Belcher.
Another page.
There might have been
I
another
apologize, on the
page.
next page. I'm
I'm
sorry
sorry,
about
Mayor,
that.
it's all good.
Stigma Free is Deputy Mayor Belcher. Anybody else for that? Tomasa, Deputy Mayor Organ. Anybody else for that? And Yab, Councilman Katz. Anybody else for that? Did you want to yield that, or you were fine?
No, I
You love it.
was willing to because it's the best.
The
board
best.
that's-
Excellent. Okay, so we have a fully
with the
stocked
greatest ta-
liaison.
with the greatest talent. by the
And we're
way.
going to list under new business for January 28th, a task force to meet with the Board of Ed and the superintendent. Talk about it. Okay, so let's go back to our council subcommittees, kind of shifted off of.
So wait, Mayor, I apologize for the subcommittee list. We could add that to the consent agenda this evening, the list of subcommittees
That's
if you'd
excellent.
like. We just need a motion and a second. I'll assign it a resolution number.
Okay, I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Excellent.
So then we have Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Sorry, Councilwoman Goldberg.
No.
I'm so sorry because both your last names start with G. Councilman Pagan?
No.
The Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher. Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Cool. This is added as 36-2025 to the consent agenda.
Okay, back to the subcommittees,
Liaisons.
liaisons.
Sorry,
No.
Mayor, it's
no.
confusing.
Now we're back to the subcommittees. We skipped over the subcommittees.
Oh.
Back.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to the sub.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
Just a question. We have pool subcommittee and then swim club. I think we're going to replace swim club with pool, right? We don't
Yes.
need both.
Yeah, so why don't we cross off swim club and just we change it to the pool subcommittee and okay. Pool subcommittee, currently Belcher, Oregon, Schwartz, Belcher, and Oregon with G as alternate. Any comments on that? Done. Budget, Schwartz, Goldberg, G. Any comments on that?
I maintain that it should be the leadership per you.
I'd love if everyone quoted me all the time.
So then I
Come to my
think we should
office,
have
speak to my staff. Great.
we should have an alternate.
Okay, so we want to add an alternate. You're fine with the board, we would like to add an alternate. Okay, does anyone like to take an alternate spot on the budget? Anybody?
For progress, I will be the alternate
Okay,
on
that'll
budget.
be Alternate on the budget, excellent. Leaf collection, Katz, Oregon, Goldberg. Excellent job this year, thank you. Affordable housing, Belcher, Schwartz, Pagan. Anybody else on that? Okay. Street renamings, G, Oregon, Schwartz. Excellent. Zoning, Belcher, Schwartz, Oregon with alternate G. Comments on that? Personnel, G, Katz, Pagan with an alternate of Oregon. Any comments on that? Okay,
Cool.
wait.
And we switched swim club to pool.
soon close the pool subcommittee.
Cool. You got that. Okay, cool. So we just have to do the same thing, a motion.
So I'll
and a
make a
second.
motion to walk on as I've listed and had nodding heads or silent.
Second.
Roll call.
We have Councilwoman Goldberg,
No.
Councilman Pagan,
No?
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes, and I'm going to continue as the self-appointed plat committee, if that's okay, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes. Okay, library appointments. I believe there were some new rules here, and in past, the mayor made the library appointments. Now I have to look for nodding heads. Is that correct, Mr. Attorney?
A majority vote of the council.
Regarding the
Within-
library board?
Correct. To confirm
Is that a roll call or just nodding head?
I would do as a roll call.
Roll call. Okay, so the mayor appointments to the open seat was to Sandy Silverberg. Into the mayor's seat, I had appointed Celine Wong. And so we're looking for a motion on that. And the
As
second,
stated.
Second.
ready, clerk. Clerk, take your time.
Second from Councilwoman G. That Councilwoman Goldberg,
Abstain.
Councilman Pagan,
Same.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes. Okay, on the new business, just reports on some community meetings. I've been setting up meetings with various members of council and deputy mayors and management staff. We had a meeting, we were having a meeting with the Northeast Block Association coming up. We have a meeting with the neighbors of, some of the neighbors of the American Legion Drive Beverly Road coming up. I had a meeting this morning with the League of Bergen County League of Mayors and Municipalities this morning. Specifically at that meeting, discussion on the new Port Authority that's coming into that's been now funded, and the construction is starting very soon. At the upcoming meeting, they'll have New Jersey Transit there, which is obviously something near and dear to our commuters. We also have a meeting with Leonia coming up, a meeting with Bergen County coming up. All these meetings have been set. And if anyone has any community groups that like to meet with the mayors or deputy mayors or whatnot, council members, management staff, please reach out. We'd love to meet with them. And they can reach out to myself or the manager or anyone on council, and we'll clearly set up those meetings, hear their concerns. With that being said, I appointed Hillary Goldberg to the mayor's seat on the planning board. Effective, is it Thursday? What did we decide?
Thursday,
It'll
still
be-
a meeting, but we said the reorg is going to be at the.
And the reorg will be on January 30th.
Yeah,
Okay,
January.
communications. Anybody? Yes.
I'd like to remind the public that applications are now being accepted by the Community Scholarship Fund of TNEC, available to any TNEC resident in public or private high school graduating this coming spring. The website for the application is communityscholarshipfund.org. The deadline to apply is February 28th. Last year, they were able to give over $107,000 to TNEC students. It was over 50 students. So if you know any high school seniors, please encourage them to apply. Again, the website is communityscholarshipfund.org.
Thank you. Committee reports by council liaisons, pedestrian safety task.
I just wanted to have the detailed minutes in there, but the task force met, and Manager Hashmat was there, so we are going to be having another meeting in February. I don't know if you have an update on the street, intersection that they picked?
I actually reached out to Nancy Dargis at the county, and we don't have a set date, but I will have that set up before next meeting and give an update.
And then I'm just asking, so the police had asked if any of the block associations, the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, we are looking for volunteers to help distribute the material for the pedestrian safety. So if anyone is interested, to please email me, hgoldberg@tnecnj.gov. Thank you.
I have an, okay, I just want to give the public an update on the affordable housing. I'm going to defer a bit to our manager who will give the details, but we are in at the compliance stage of reporting up to DCA, the Department of Community Affairs, in terms of what the requirements are. So we're meeting pretty much on a regular basis. We have a meeting this Thursday with our new planner, Topology, and they are helping us to ensure that we get our numbers in before the deadline of January 31st. And that's a report I just wanted to mention. And in terms of the planning board, I just want to also mention that we do have a meeting on the 16th and then a master plan meeting on the 30th. Thank you.
Any other liaison?
The library board had their reorganization last week. The new president of the library board is Benji Burnett. The vice president is Keisha Carter. The secretary is Chandra Young. The treasurer is Paul Ostrow. And welcome to new members, Sandy Silverberg, who knows the library very well. And the mayor's representative is Celine Lewis Wong. So congratulations to everybody.
Okay. There's nothing else. We'll go to council list. Oh, okay, go ahead.
I forgot to mention that the ABCR did meet at the end of December to have a community meeting. There was food, there was fellowship. We got to hear a presentation from the Youth Advisory Board. Shout out Ellie Katz, right? The best advisory board about their little libraries. And so it was really a nice event. I hope to do it again next year with, if the advisory board decides to do it again, and get more folks to come out and fellowship.
And I'll go with the pool committee. There is contractual, so I'll keep it kind of brief. The pool, we met with the swim club. We had a very productive meeting and we continue to talk with them and move forward together. Else? Okay. On to council listed. We have 3 proposed resolutions, Mr. Clerk. Are these going to be walked on? Are there copies available? Can you give some guidance here?
Yes, so just like the ones that we just handled, Mayor, these are proposed resolutions not on the consent agenda that you are free to walk in this evening to the consent agenda. So if there's no discussion, you could motion and second, and we could add it and assign it a number.
I'll make a motion to add the 3 proposed
Second.
resolutions. Seconded. Thank you. Okay. And township manager's report.
Wait, sorry.
Sorry.
I need to
Rita?
take a roll call on that, Mayor.
Oh,
I
I apologize.
apologize.
Sorry.
So you made a motion for all 3?
I didn't, yes.
I second.
One.
Mike?
Okay, is it
Yeah,
on now?
yes.
Okay. I just have some issues in terms of the wording that I think we need to address. I think that whereas it says here, since 1994, millions of Americans have been inspired by the life and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I would change that. I feel as if that it's certainly before 1994. The federal holiday was made a holiday in 1983. I think that the wording in this could have been improved upon or could have been received some collaboration from others. So I would suggest that the wording be looked at as it pertains to the resolution for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Can I make a suggestion we make those changes now? Let's do those changes now so we haven't voted on it. It is Martin Luther King Day will be. And also, and I'm not sure, I know we had this conversation a year ago, how we can address these earlier, in the year or something, so we don't do it. the day
Mr. Mayor,
before.
actually, I have a recommendation on that. So a
Yeah.
lot of towns do something where the beginning of the year, they agree, and maybe the Advisory Board of Community Relations can come up with this, a calendar of all of the days that we're going to do and just do one resolution, and then the clerk already knows what we're going to do, and it's not a thing.
The ABCR chair is, can you please address that? Thank you. Okay, can we
Sure.
change that language now on the Martin Luther King?
Certainly, I would say that definitely way before 1994, millions of Americans have been inspired by the life and legacy of Martin Luther King. So I would certainly change that date.
What? He has it open right now, so we're gonna,
Oh, you want me to-
yeah, we're gonna make the change now. We're gonna vote on it. Just cancel the date. Forever. Do you want to move the date?
No, I would say at least based upon the federal holiday. So I would say the date of 1983.
Okay, you wanna change
Yeah.
that?
Mhm.
Does that work for everybody? Good, okay, so we can do that roll call if that's all right?
Sure.
Okay, roll call, Mr. Clerk,
So,
for all 3.
okay, cool. You got it for all 3 with that change of the date
Yes.
from Deputy Mayor Belcher. All good. Made that to 1983. And that was a motion from Mayor Schwartz. What was the second? I apologize.
Second,
That
Vice
was
Mayor
from
Pagan.
Councilman Pagan. And we have Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes.
Councilman Pagan. Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Oregon.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
They are all added.
Thank you. Mrs. Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council and Township residents. Everyone should have received your Teaneck Times recycling calendars at your homes. Please use these as your reference guide for this upcoming year. If you did not receive one, please call the clerk's office or stop by. We have limited quantities, but we can assist you. The next planning board meeting in reference to the master plan is scheduled for Thursday, January 30th at 7:30 p.m. at the Rhoda Center in room MP1. Please see our website for additional details and documentation. Argonne Park and Voti Park tennis courts remain closed for inspection and repairs. Updates to follow when they will reopen. As many of you are aware, pedestrian-involved incidents have become frequent within our township. I am pleased to share with you that I will be working with our police department to kick off a pedestrian safety Street Smart campaign to include working with Bergen County, Easy Ride, and the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority to identify areas in need of improvement. Through the month of February, our Motor Patrol Division will crack down on crosswalk violations in commercial districts. Community policing will also engage with school groups to educate children on pedestrian safety, and an inspection of pedestrian stanchions will be scheduled. Special thank you to Rothenberg Law Firm, who will be donating several thousand pedestrian reflector belts that will be available to residents at the Teaneck Police Department. This will increase safety for pedestrians with added visibility in our crosswalks. Social media postings and updates to follow with details. The curbside leaf collection season, after 2 extensions, officially ended on January 2nd. Additionally, leaf collection in our parks was completed on January 8th. During this season, our DPW successfully collected a total of 20,500 cubic yards of leaves. As of today, for the winter season, the DPW has applied 676 tons of road salt to maintain safe and clear roadways. Our fleet consists of 11 salt spreaders and 33 plow trucks, which is available to be deployed to handle winter weather conditions. We will continue to monitor and adjust our operations as needed to ensure the safety and efficiency of snow removal and road treatments throughout the remainder of the winter season. When a snow emergency is declared, all vehicles must be removed from the roadway unless you are parked in an exempt area. For additional off-street parking, residents are encouraged to use our municipal parking lots. Meter fees are waived until 24 hours after any winter storm. Please refer to our Teaneck website and use the keyword snow removal for additional information during any upcoming storm. For our grant updates, the township has been awarded $25,000 from the New Jersey Division of Highway Safety to promote pedestrian safety. This funding will be used in connection with our upcoming February pedestrian safety campaign. Moving on to some project updates, the Voti Park restroom building has finally been delivered, and the utility connections will be completed this month. Concrete and other site work are scheduled for this spring. The Bel Ave drainage project has no immediate updates and remains on track. We are continuing communications with the DEP for updated appraisals on the compensation proposal. Herrick Park has several updates that I will share with you now. The baseball field has the fence and backstop installation that is just finished. The basketball court poles and backboards have been installed and the benches are in place. The gravel walkways have been laid and the paving will proceed as the weather permits. The splash pad, the equipment has been delivered and the contractor has passed building and electrical bonding inspections and is awaiting plumbing inspections. Site work will be completed in the spring. The restrooms have been installed and electrical and plumbing connections are also in progress. The playground, most of the equipment is already installed and rubber safety surfaces will be installed also in the spring. Bike lane is under design review and has been submitted to NJDOT for approval. The Argonne Park tennis courts is in the final design phase and the project will go out to bid this month. Construction is scheduled to begin in 2025. Phelps Park splash pad is in the final phase of design, and our 2024 road resurfacing project is in the final phase of roadway review. The Andreas Park Pickleball Courts, the contract documents are awaiting signatures and pre-construction meeting is scheduled for this month. Lastly, a friendly reminder, please sign up for your township alerts on the front page of our website. This is the most efficient way for our residents to stay informed. Thank you, Mayor.
Good stuff coming down. Mr. Attorney, any reports from you?
Nothing from me, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. And with that, we have no ordinances for public hearing or adoption, so we'll skip that, and we'll go to the highlight of the night. Meeting open to public good and welfare. 3 minutes. Do I read the whole thing? I apologize. I'll read the whole thing. Okay, thank you very much for your patience. Mayor to inquire whether any member of the council has, we don't need that part. Okay. I apologize. Okay. I'm gonna ask, okay. We're gonna call the public. We're gonna call people in the room first. We'll go to Zoom there afterwards. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please address the council. Please do not address individual council members by name. Anybody in the room that would like to speak? Of course.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ron Schwartz, 698 Larch Avenue, Teaneck, New Jersey. Speak tonight on behalf of the grassroots group, One Town, One Vote. A resolution was passed by the group at this meeting on Sunday night, and I'm going to read the resolution to you. One Town, One Vote supports the development of affordable housing in Teaneck and supports approving accessory dwelling units as part of fulfilling Teaneck's affordable housing requirement. And as an aside, I note that there is the ordinance relating to approval of the ADU units is back on the agenda for the third time. We urge you to introduce that ordinance and upon due consideration to pass that ordinance approving the accessory dwelling units. Every new development, and there are several developments that we will probably see in the next 2 years, must include an environmental impact report and a traffic study. And when we say independent traffic study and environmental impact study, we mean a truly independent study, not done by experts that are hired and paid for by the developers. We urge the township to require the deposit monies, but for the township to actually hire the experts in these two regards. And I note also, as a personal note, that despite the fact that the Crossroads development has been pending for almost 2.5 years now, and we have had no less than 3 public forums on the proposals by Crossroads, we still do not have a traffic study. We still do not have an environmental study to inform the public as to what I believe will be the immense traffic effects of this development on the intersection of Cedar Lane and Garrison Avenue. Perhaps someone on the council tonight can, maybe Schwartz, who has been a proponent of this development, can explain why there has been no traffic study and no environmental impact study for the public to review by this time. And we urge also that the independent reports that should be done be given to the public in sufficient time for the public to review these important studies so that the public can have the most important input into these developments. I compliment Mayor Schwartz for the speech he made at the reorganization meeting. You have to build, recognizing the need for public input and public buy-in to these redevelopment plans. Thank you very much.
Mr. Schwartz, anyone else? Mr. Yuck, sorry.
Good evening. Philip Yucht, Teaneck resident. So first of all, I want to say, I want to just thank you all for this job that you do. It's a job that is just listening to all the committees and the subcommittees and all the other things you need to do. It's a lot of work. It's a job that most of us in town wouldn't want. Certainly, it's a job that I wouldn't want. But you guys have it, and I hope that you do it well. You've done it well before. I've noticed some some contention and some behavior and body language at some of the meetings that have been disturbing to me, apparent to the public. You know, I'm a psychologist. I was a therapist for 48 years. I'm retired from that. I'm still working, doing other things. But as such, we are trained observers of nonverbal behavior. And some of the stuff I've seen, I'm not really happy about. So I hope that changes as time goes on and that you work together well as a unit. Just to follow up from what Mr. Schwartz, or Ron Schwartz, just presented, I reviewed the settlement agreement. I've read it in its entirety several times, the American Legion Drive and Beverly Road Settlement Agreement. There is a section in that agreement that speaks to a traffic study. Interestingly, it only speaks to a traffic study on the other side of Cedar Lane, the American Legion Drive side of Cedar Lane. It does not mention Garrison Avenue, does not mention Beverly Road. Any traffic study that's going to be done on that area, I agree that it should be an independent traffic study, because my understanding is that traffic studies never stop a development from happening. We saw that in other areas of town, and I want a traffic study that's going to be really thorough and independent, and that will include Garrison Avenue, Beverly Road. We have the ambulance corps there. I'm concerned about the traffic that already exists there, the number of accidents at the corner of Beverly Road and Garrison Avenue without a construction there. And we need safe passage for our ambulances to because they go down Beverly Road all the time. And it's not just Beverly, it's Beatrice, it's all those side streets, because they'll all get clogged up at certain times. Thank you very much.
Mr. Siegel.
Good evening. My name is Rich Siegel. I'm a 25-year homeowner here in Teaneck. I'm Jewish. I'm noticing this resolution for Martin Luther King Day, and I'm wondering why this town is continuing to have resolutions not having anything specifically to do with the town. You made a pro-Israel resolution a while back, which was a very regrettable thing to enter into. But as long as we're talking about Martin Luther King Day, one of the things that he achieved was the elimination of redlined real estate. This town is continuing to support Israeli real estate events that are actually selling redlined real estate right here in Teaneck, including West Bank settlement real estate and real estate within Israel itself. And another thing unique to the civil rights movement was that it would not have been possible without the First Amendment, without free speech. And I understand that Hillary Goldberg introduced this resolution, and she has been actively trampling on First Amendment rights. When our high school students organized a walkout for Palestine, she was calling them anti-Semites. And she got our congressman to do the same thing. This Scott Gottheimer, the two of them, bullied our high school students. Is this really in the spirit of Martin Luther King? I mean, the civil rights movement would not have happened if people were not allowed to speak out and congregate and march and demonstrate. And these kids did that. They were heroic kids, and their efforts were squashed. It was a disgrace. So how are we having this resolution now in view of what goes on in our town and in view of the actions of one of our council members? It's just an astounding hypocrisy. And as long as I have a minute, I just want to say that before I came here, I saw a video from Gaza of a bunch of guys digging a baby girl out of the rubble. And this one was alive. And many, many thousands have not been. And I get tough and I get nasty with you people, but I'm crying. I'm horrified. I'm Jewish and I'm horrified by what my people are doing. Committing genocide. That's what we're doing. and we need to get real about it. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Tiff?
Yusuf Awadullah, Teaneck resident. First off, congratulations to all in this reorganization. I'm very hopeful that we could all move forward together as a community. On Sunday morning, doctors and nurses that had been to Gaza came to the municipal green to speak. I just came today to thank this council for the ongoing support of the Palestinian people. My eyes were delighted to see our very own councilwoman in attendance. Sure, she was lurking in the shadows, but her presence is nonetheless appreciated. Thank you for filming the attendees from behind bushes and shrubs. Thank you for practicing your First Amendment right to film in public. If it wasn't for you, who would hold those who stand for humanity responsible for their actions? How dare residents protest the ongoing killing of the healthcare workers and destruction of hospitals in Gaza? Listening to firsthand accounts on the atrocities being committed there. These people are really Gaza lighting Teaneck. Yes, you heard me right, Gaza lighting. It's a newly coined term meaning the psychological manipulation where one who commits atrocities uses the response to gain sympathy for their actions. When is the murder of tens of thousands of innocent civilians an appropriate response in any given situation? Thank you for keeping your promise of serving all residents of this great township, holding strong, one-sided views on a conflict over 5,000 miles away. That's what I look for in my elected officials here in Teaneck, New Jersey. With my remaining time, I would like to read a poem, a short poem. The poem is by Khalid Juma, and it was first published back in 2014. O rascal children of Gaza, you who constantly disturb me with your screams under my window. You who filled every morning with rush and chaos. You who broke my vase and stole my lonely flower on a balcony. Come back, scream as you want. Break all the vases, steal all the flowers. Come back, just come back. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the room before I go over to Zoom? Mr. Green?
Hi, good evening, Darrell Green, Teaneck resident. I just want to say, I really applaud this council. You guys have come together, you're trying to work together, and a lot of people don't realize the tough job that you have, the job that gets a lot of times no thanks, but you could always work together if you want to work together, if we can get out of our personal feelings and move this town forward. What I witnessed tonight is some progress. I'm seeing people who were once on opposing sides coming together to move Teaneck forward. So I just want to tell you thank you, because I know some sacrifices had to be made. A lot of people don't know what really goes on. But I applaud you to move this town forward and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr. Green. We're gonna go to Zoom as I see no other hands in the room. Oh, we do one before we go. Albert?
Amrit Ramdatan, Teaneck resident. Just had a couple quick questions. So how do we meet our affordable housing obligations? Is it as simple as just passing a resolution? And what happens to the town if we do not meet that obligation? Very concerned financially, obviously. Now, can this be met with an affordable housing project? You know, just in a building that's all affordable units versus just portions of a unit being built? And then also, has there been any discussion about the municipal garbage pickup? Any money saved is obviously a great interest to me. Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? Okay, clerk, how many you have?
Bringing in, we got a few hands, Mayor. I'm bringing in Sandy Silverberg.
Mrs. Silverberg?
Give it just a little lag time second, a little tech buffer room there. Sandy, you're free to unmute.
Here I am. You got me, Doug?
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, thank you very much. This is the first Sandy sandwich of the year. I hope it won't be the last. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I know some of the people have been a little bit under the weather, and I'm sorry for that, but let it be a healthy and peaceful new year. I also want to thank all of the candidates that ran for office. It takes a lot of courage to do it, and I congratulate those of you who won. And I really thank you to the mayor for appointing me to the library board. I will do my best. I also want to thank the town manager for giving us some space to work occasionally, and that's very much appreciated while the library is still under construction. Now, the other part of the sandwich, or the reverse side of the bread, the intersection at Decatur, right off of Route 4, is still an absolute nightmare. And that's with that building, I think it's called the Mark, because I went to a couple of planning board meetings recently. That isn't even really up and running to an appreciable extent, so there is not that much traffic coming out of that, but there will be. And there'll be another piece to that construction, and it's frighteningly dangerous when you come off of Route 4 and you want to make a left turn. The people that are coming from Decatur slide through the stop sign. I know it's a really difficult problem. Maybe I don't know what the solution is. Rumble strips, other warnings, maybe a lighted sign. There's got to be a way to bring people's attention to the danger of that intersection. Thank you very much. And I wish you all this year the best of luck. I think we're off to a terrific start. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Mr. Clerk, anybody else?
Hildy Dillon.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to congratulate the council. Also want to give credit to all the people who ran for our council. You can hear the incredible time that it takes to be on the council, and it is greatly appreciated, the commitment that you all make for the township. I'm here not tonight as the chair of the Environmental Commission. We have some things coming up that we'll bring to you in a couple of weeks or a couple of meetings, but I wanted to tell you that I've had 3 incidents recently. I'm very glad that we started this traffic safety task force. But my husband and I stopped for a light on the corner of Cedar Lane and Larch Avenue, and a car went around us, a white Chevy Tahoe going at least 45 or 50 miles an hour, and went right through the red light. Then was stopped, ironically, because people were double parked in front of the UPS store. And they couldn't go any further because there was kind of a gridlock there at the moment, which is quite common. So I think in addition to looking at ways, we need to look at ways to make it safer to walk. There were also cyclists that were going up Cedar Lane at the same time that came to a complete halt because of witnessing this car coming in speeding really inappropriately and dangerously on Cedar Lane. So we need to think about cycling lanes. We need to think about widening walkways, safer ways of crossing the streets. And I hope that you will be sincere about getting public input. I appreciate the experts that you have on this task force so far. I heard Councilwoman Hillary Goldberg say that we can contact her if we're interested, or we know organizations that are interested, but I hope that you would proactively seek advice from organizations that have studied this before, like Age Friendly Teaneck. Your Environmental Commission has had this on their agenda for almost a year now, talking about safe streets. So I think that you should include the residents in your efforts. And with that, as I said, we'll have some exciting things coming up from the EC in a few meetings moving forward. And I wish everybody a good night and a healthy new year.
Thank you, Hildy. Mr. Clerk.
I have Tebow Gilbert. Thank you for putting the pronunciation in your name on Zoom there. I appreciate that. I appreciate the reminder, Tebow. There he is. Whenever you're ready, you're free to unmute.
Am I muted now?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear.
All right. I'll be brief. I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. The Teaneck Swim Club. Recently, I watched this movie called Join or Die. It was about the decline in clubs and communities in America, how this also affected democracy and even the economy in many different ways, and how we can fix it. And I believe that the Teaneck Swim Club is a great opportunity to help our families, community, and town to become better. I believe that we could do great things with it, like reintroducing a swim team and making a year-round pool so that our citizens can enjoy themselves not just during the summer. Also, kids these days barely know how to swim. In America, only 56% of people can perform all basic swimming skills. We need to be able to help our citizens against that, even if it's only a small percentage of people. I believe that keeping the pool open and making it more accessible would help everyone. I believe that a private-public partnership would also help everyone. That is what I am asking you to do for us and for yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Mr. Clerk, what do you got? Anybody else?
I have Keith Kaplan. Keith Kaplan, you're free to unmute.
Mr. Kaplan.
It's coming. Give it just a second. Sometimes it takes a second because we move them to panelists. It's a whole thing. I think
There we go. Can you hear me now?
loud and clear. 3 minutes.
Thank you. I want to congratulate Mayor Schwartz on his appointment and to everyone serving on council. I wanted to comment, having attended the last Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting, about the conditional use criteria that are found in our code. Back in the 70s, when the town's demographics were changing a bit, there was a bit of an overreaction to the types of people that were feared to be moving into town. One of the new requirements said that dwelling occupied by one family or could have no more than 3 persons not related by blood, marriage, or adoption. Another said that you had to have over an acre in order to have a house of worship. Another said that you had to have 5 acres or 10 for a high school, plus another acre for every 100 students you'd have. These cases were heard by various judges. Holy Name brought one of the first suits because nuns were not related and they owned 3 houses where the nuns at the hospital lived. The judge had said the township of Teaneck is being converted into a private club. The application for admission must be accompanied by a valid marriage certificate. And this is the judge's words, quote, wrong kind of people unable to find decent housing need not apply no matter how many suitable homes lie vacant. He called it restrictive and legally unenforceable. A couple weeks ago, a school in the Northeast applied. They were, under this code, required to have 5 acres, but they only had 0.3 of an acre. No one cared. They got their variance and life went on. Last week, another applicant came through. They were told they needed half an acre. A lot of people came out objecting, and they wound up making it through. Our code is legally unenforceable because, and as other suits have said, there are no half-acre parcels of land to be found, and prior houses of worship don't have these criteria. We need to get rid of the conditional use criteria. We need to keep the actual criteria. The setbacks and whatnots are important, but they need to be bulk criteria that put some teeth into what the new master plan says is the township's vision that houses of worship are, like schools, something that is a beneficial use that the town wants to see. It's about time that this council looked at the conditional use criteria, which is actual redlining and attempts to keep people from operating in town, and rip it out by the root. That should have been done a long time ago. Thank you.
I have Shanaz. You're free
Hello.
to unmute.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to say January is Muslim Heritage Month, and I'd like to thank everyone who came to the Muslim Heritage Month events at the Teaneck Marriott and at the Rhoda Center. There was an excellent interfaith program at the Marriott with rabbi, priests, and Islamic scholars that was enlightened and addressed some tough questions to help people move forward as people are going through several different emotions in every community. Additionally, there were cultural programs and educational displays at both locations. So I wanted to take this time to really thank everyone who came, and especially all the elected officials who came in peace. And I hope everyone becomes a champion of peace and understanding as we go through 2025. So I just want to take the minute to thank everyone. The second point I do want to address is the American Legion Drive development. It is a big concern that we haven't really seen the traffic study. And I know in previous meeting, I've talked about this, and it's, when you live on this street, you see how hard it is to maneuver. The streets become almost like one car can go through, especially on North Avenue. And that's where you see a lot of traffic for the schools. As you know, we've got 5 different schools and daycare centers in this area. So please consider and share and really we need a detailed traffic study on the American Legion Drive. So thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you, Shanaz. Mr. Clerk.
We have Abner Strauss. Abner Strauss. I was testing everyone here in chambers. Abner, they know how to pronounce your last name properly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hello?
you loud and clear, Abner. 3 minutes.
Okay, fine. First, I want a second, third, fourth, and fifth. The point made about the being so impressed about the time, effort, and commitment you guys make to the well-being of our town. And I particularly want to thank your families and your employers for allowing you to commit so much of your resources to our well-being. So I'm a member of the Teaneck Swim Club and a member of their Political Action Committee. And I just want to discuss the idea of what a partnership means. There's been an effort to form a partnership between the township and the Teaneck Swim Club. My understanding is that a partnership is based on a shared vision and mutual trust. And thirdly, that by forming a partnership, there's a better chance of achieving the shared vision. My understanding is that the shared vision is to continue the swim club and to do it in a way that makes it affordable and available to all of Teaneck. And it seems that from what the two parties have said, that is in fact in place. There is a shared vision. But I must be honest, when it comes to mutual trust, there's a question in my mind. Now, I have to say that what I'm presenting tonight is not, I have not been privy to what happened in the joint meeting between the Teaneck Swim Club and the council committee. But prior to that, so this may be irrelevant based on what happened at that meeting. There's been something that has undermined a mutual trust. And my understanding is that prior, anyway, the council has presented, or the subcommittee of the council, or the attorney of the town has said, do it our way or you're out. And our way meant a voluntary default, or else that's it. And that is not a way to build mutual trust. I think if there's a partnership, the end result can be achieved. And the township has to think about what undermines a partnership and what encourages and puts forward a partnership. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Strauss. Mr. Clerk, anyone else?
I have Deborah Blayberg. You're free to unmute.
Hi, good evening. I hope you don't mind if I put my camera on. I'm literally straight out of a surgery today, so none of you need to see this. Deborah Blayberg, Teaneck residents. Congratulations, everyone on the dais. I just want to talk about, first of all, this, following on from what Phil you said about with regards to, body language and stuff. We're all talking about working together and nicely, but the thing is when you want everyone to play nicely in the sandbox, you should make sure not to kick sand in the person's face who you want to play nicely. Going on from that, I also get a lot of warnings to be told, you cannot specifically address a member at the dais. Well, tonight we had a member of the public attack a member of the council from the dais, and not a word, not a single word from our mayor. I'm really disappointed in that. Take the pettiness somewhere else. It's enough already. Now, the other thing is I always get asked to go and ask questions if I'm curious about something. So please explain this affordable housing business, because as I understand it, we as a town have to build something like over 700 affordable units, which is about 5,000 new units needed to proportion that. And then there's the issue that if Shepherd Woods gets taken by the county for the the highway, I think we get some, and they take all of it, we get some affordable unit credits. But I also understand it's a wetland, so I don't know how developing on it is I don't understand that stuff. So please explain that in idiot terms so people like me can understand, so that when people are whispering in ears, we actually understand what's going on. And then my other question is are we becoming like Oprah and just handing out titles to everybody? Because whilst major respect, Ellie, for everything you have done, an emeritus position usually comes at the end when you're leaving, and you deserve it 100%. When you leave your position, when you leave the council, it 100% should be, you deserved it, you earned it 100%. Although I believe in term limits, and I do not believe anybody should be serving in any political position or leadership position for 25 years. It's a great achievement, but unfortunately, when you are in power for a long time, I've always said power can eventually corrupt, and you just don't understand. Talking of which, when we do these studies, can we make sure that none of these people are related to anybody who works or is involved within the council? I have always been very clear about transparency within the Board of Education and how these do these contracts relate to people who I don't like it when things mix. It's just not a good look. So can we do that? And if you want people to play nicely in the sandbox, stop kicking sand in their faces. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Blyberg. Anyone else? Seeing anyone else in the room? Mr. Sohn. Anybody else sitting in there after? Okay, we'll end it after Mr. Sohn. The Alex Rashim spot, whatever it is.
Alex Rashid Memorial spot.
Thank you, Alan Sohn, Teaneck resident. I want to thank Michael Pagan for the opportunity to serve on the planning board over the past 18 months. I appreciate the 6 individuals who supported my nomination, and I'll reach out to Deputy Mayor Organ to better understand her concerns about my background and qualifications. The legislation on the 4th round of affordable housing was adopted in March. The state published its calculations, its numbers in October, and I've spent most of the past year going through those numbers. As a member of the planning board, I had the privilege of attending the State League of Municipalities Conference in November in Atlantic City. Among the several sessions I attended were 3 related to affordable housing and another on ADUs with Deputy Mayor Belcher. I also had the opportunity to spend almost 2 hours with the staff of the Department of Community Affairs to understand Teaneck's prospective need number of 431. Of our 8 surrounding municipalities, 2 of them have a number of 0. Bergenfield and Hackensack as qualified urban aid communities. The other 6 communities range from 88 units in Bogota to 381 in Englewood, with most of them in the lower end in between. As was done for all municipalities statewide, the number of 431 units for Teaneck was based on 3 factors. At a set aside of 15%, and that was the question, which has been the general rule for the overwhelming majority of developments in Teaneck, it would require that 2,850 units be developed over the next decade. The 3 factors are land capacity. How much land do you have available for development? The number of 22.363 that the state had is clearly too high. And again, I think that number has to go down. And the biggest chunk of that, almost half of what would be left, would be Shepherd Woods at about 6 acres. And that accounts for about a quarter of the units. The growth in equalized non-residential property is about a third. How much has commercial property grown over the past 25 years? And the biggest factor is income capacity, which accounts for about 40% of the units, which is based on incomes that are much higher than elsewhere in the region. If we don't adopt a plan, and the question was asked, that will open the township to builders' remedy suits. Builders might be able to go to the court, say the township is not cooperating, and basically be given a go-ahead to build what might be much larger developments outside of the control of the township. The deadline to reply is fast approaching, is a little more than 2 weeks away. And I think it's important to understand what those 2,850 units could be. This would be 11 buildings the size of a 1-500 in Avalon or 329 Alfred Avenue. Where would these buildings go? The DPW site, Shepherd Woods, where else? It's no surprise that no one understands. I think we need a public forum, and we need an opportunity for the public to give input on what they think affordable housing should be and hear from what this township wants to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sohn. Okay. Good and welfare is now closed. Councilwoman Goldberg.
I yield my time.
Good. Okay. Good.
I just wanted to say, acknowledge that it's Muslim Heritage Month, and thank you to this council for passing that resolution. And I hope that everyone on Martin Luther King Day, I know my family and I always do something in terms of an act of service. I hope the community members will consider doing that as well. I want to thank all the folks who came out today and shared their concerns, sentiments with us. We really appreciate your input. Want to see if there's anything specific I want to address here. I think I'll let our township manager address some of the more detailed questions, but thank you all for coming out.
You, Mayor Katz.
Yeah. Briefly, I just wanted to chime in on a couple of affordable housing comments that were made. The state has a mandate of 146,000 affordable units, of which Teaneck is 431. That's over 10 years. So understand that's not like in the next 1 or 2 years. It's over a 10-year period. So the new round encompasses that. Yes, that's challenging when you have limited land. So that's why it's so important for us to think outside the box, and we have to think about how we can repurpose land, how we can use single-story retail areas, and certainly expand up perhaps 2 or 3 or 4 stories to speak to that. Also, thinking outside the box means looking at a development like 1475, which is 100% affordable senior living. Those are things that we can look at. We can look at things like workforce housing, which also falls under affordability criteria. So these next few years is going to be challenging, but yet we are able to use subject matter experts, to use forums, bringing in our community to sit at a table to discuss ways in which we're going to address affordable. Because think about it, affordability is a good subject. It's not a negative subject. It's just a matter of how we approach it. I mean, we've seen over the last few days the horrific fires in California. They're going to be faced with horrific housing shortages and how they go about addressing that. So when we think about affordable housing, I like to think that it's almost affordable living, because it speaks to things like, how do we address insurance when we have insurance companies leaving states because they can't insure properties? So we have to be able to think ahead of things. And I do want to shout out to One Town, One Vote. I appreciate the fact that you are endorsing ADUs. I think it's important. We just this few days ago received an email from a resident who's a veteran who asked about housing. How can we address housing for veterans? So ADUs speak to a lot of solutions that will solve for a lot of things within our town. Just understanding, I think a question was, what happens when a town doesn't meet their fair share requirements? There are lawsuits. There is the Fair Share Housing Agency that basically oversees it, and we just simply want to be on the right side of that. We don't want to be opened up to lawsuits. So it's very important. And lastly, I just want to say, happy Muslim Heritage Month. I think that that's very important to acknowledge them. However, we do it at the beginning of the year. Also, MLK Day. There's so many events, and it is truly a day of service. It is truly a day of giving back, and I encourage people to do that. And there is a vision board event that's being held on Sunday. This Sunday, the 19th, at 3 p.m. at the Rota Center, and it is an MLK event. So please come out and cast your vision. Thank you.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, every time we've mentioned development in the years leading up to this, there's always been a feeling that we need to go out and challenge it. And instead, I hope now that we're in this together, and these are the goals that we need to meet together. And instead of that, let's talk about it beforehand, and let's see if we can come up with the path forward together instead of taking the time of the planning board and the zoning board. Let's talk together. And this is what we've been doing since before 2025. Since the election, we've been meeting, we've been talking to different organizations like the mayor discussed. Anybody that wants to have a conversation, if One Vote, One TNEC wants to have a conversation, let us know the time and we'll be there and we'll try to address concerns. It's what we're trying to do, to cut off the bigger problems at the end. We've got one email address now, right? We're council@tnecnj.gov. You don't have to email each of us individually now. It'll come to everybody. So we're trying to be more accessible. We're trying to work together with the town, and we're trying to answer questions when we can. To Hildy Dillon, every day now, people, it seems, are getting hit by cars, run over by cars. It's crazy. Safe Streets TNEC is so important. I'm glad that February will be, the police will be starting to go out, and I hope ticket double parkers and speeders. I'm glad the Rothenberg Law Firm is donating the illuminating bands. I hope everybody will wear them. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own safety. So don't expect the car to stop for you. Make sure you're not looking down at your phone when you cross the street. You need to take care of yourself. You need to speak to your children. Something as strange as going on out there. Drivers are not being careful, but neither are pedestrians. So please, please, please take care of yourself. Mr. Kaplan, conditional use criteria any Saturday night or Sunday night you want to come over and talk about it, I think we should move forward with that. But the ball's in your court, so please reach out and make a date. We had a wonderful meeting with the swim club. We are very close to coming up with a solution, and we will have a plan before we open all of us together for the spring. Nothing nefarious happened. We are working well together. It's just a matter of days. And what else? Amrit, we did a study on garbage a couple of years ago that Councilwoman Goldberg led, and it is cheaper to keep garbage the way that it is now. And I think that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, I'll jump right in. Amrit, we can continue that conversation at the gym if you'd like about municipal garbage pickup. It's something I love to talk about. The financials were just not there. As it relates to affordable housing, we're going to be hearing a lot about affordable housing over the years, over the days, weeks, months to come. We are prepared, and we have our planners already working on it to object to the 431 number. One comment that Deputy Mayor Belcher made, if we do more 100% affordable properties, if the finances work, well, then that will lower how many units we ultimately have to build because there will be no 15% set aside. So this is something that we're going to be talking a lot about, explaining a lot about, and taking it forward. As it relates to Mr. Schwartz and Mr. Yuck, we have a meeting coming up with some of the neighbors from American Legion Drive. We'll discuss the traffic studies. We'll, again, if one Teaneck One Vote wants to sit down, we'll go sit down and go over that as well and go over any other concerns they have. As it relates to the Decatur intersection, we did add a stop sign. We did have rumble strips. I believe Ms. Silverberg's talking from the other direction. I will drive by there again and take a look at that. Hildy, we're glad you're safe and everything worked out there, but we will be doing not just our enforcement in February, but we have already increased our enforcement. Got some comments tonight already about traffic stops tonight, so get ready to get pulled over. Thank you for your contribution when you do get a ticket, but you will get a ticket. Mr. Gilbert, the swim club, you already heard that we're making progress. And one of the things we discussed indeed was the potential of a year-round pool, not just for the members of the town, but also especially members of our athletic teams or in our schools, which are sorely in need of that space. Ms. Blyberg, thank you very much. You are correct. I did not. There was a comment made directly to Councilman Goldberg. I apologize. This is my first time up here in the chair, and I did not stop it, so I do apologize. Thank you for pointing that out. And that is all I have. So with that, we will go on to the next, go to the consent agenda.
Can the clerk just read off the numbers of the resolutions that we added on so we know what numbers they are?
Sure.
For sure, Councilor. We have this evening 1, 2, 3 sets of minutes. Resolutions 20 to 40-2025. And what we added to the consent agenda this evening was 36-2025 for council liaisons, 37 for council subcommittees, 38 for Martin Luther King Day, 39 for Muslim American Heritage Month, and 40 for Councilman Ellie Y. Katz. So that's 21 to 40. And our bill list.
In the amount of?
First bill list, yes, of the year, $6,409,673.91.
Mr. Mayor, I have a bunch I'd like to pull.
Sure, go ahead.
26, 27,
Hold on, so 26, Mr. Clerk got that? All right, 27,
28,
okay.
29,
Hmm.
30, 35.
Okay. Anybody else want to pull anything? So let's put that aside. Let's do a vote on everything else in the meantime. Okay, is there a motion? I'll make the motion to approve all the resolutions in the bill list as listed, with the exception of 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 35.
Second.
So, whenever you're ready.
Councilwoman Goldberg.
Okay, I'm going to do this one at a time because I'm not doing it unanimously. So no on 21, yes on 22, 23, 24, 25. Abstain on, yes on 31, abstain on 32, abstain on 33, abstain on 34, abstain on the bills list, abstain on 36, 37, and yes on 38, 39, 40.
36 and 37, you're abstaining.
Yes.
38, 39, 40 is yes.
Yes.
No on 21, yes on 22, 23, 24, 25, 31. Abstaining on 32, abstaining on 33, abstaining on 34. Abstaining on 36, 37, yes on 38, 39, 40, abstaining on the bills list, correct? Cool,
Yeah.
sorry, thank you. Councilman Began.
Mr. Clerk, I'm abstaining on the bills list. I'm voting no on resolution number 21, voting no on number 36, voting no on number 37, and voting yes on everything else.
That was a no. Councilman Began on 21
36,
and
37,
37.
and abstaining on the bill
bills
list,
list.
and yes on everything else.
That's everything. Thank you so much, sir. Councilwoman G,
Can you remind me one more time what 36, 37, 38, 39, 40?
30,
36, 37?
36 is council liaisons. 37 is council subcommittees. 38 is Martin Luther King Day. 39 Muslim American Heritage Month. 40 is Ellie White Cats.
Got it. Yes to all.
Thank you. We have Councilman Katz.
Abstain on the bills list and abstain on 32 and yes to all.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Okay, can you just confirm 32?
32, Resolution 32-2025 is authorizing 2024 budget account transfers.
Budget account transfer. Okay, yes to all.
Thank you, Miss. And Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes to all.
Thank you, Mayor Schwartz.
Yes to all.
Thank you, sir. We had a few pulled from Councilman Goldberg.
All right, so the first one, this is authorizing an application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Local Recreation Improvement Grant for the new gym fans at the Rhoda Center. The application, well, the 2024 budget, the capital plan had this as $100,000. Until 3 o'clock today, the resolution said $100,000, and now at 3 o'clock it said 80. So I just was,
The grant writers submitted that change this morning
but the amount came down from the
from
2024.
100 to 80.
Right, but so what changed in the plan?
This was the application update that she had submitted to me.
Right. but
They're
the-
asking for less money. She didn't provide a reason why. I could get that for you, though.
Jackie, do you know? Did the plans change? Because the $100,000 was what we budgeted in the capital plan, the 6-year.
It sounds like just a funding change for this specific application. It went from 100 to 80,000.
Right, but we don't know why, right? Okay.
It could have simply been a typo. I could ask her and get back to you.
Okay. I'll move it.
Second Schwartz. We want to do the rest of yours and see if we put them all together? Next.
Let's do it one at a time.
Okay.
So that was a motion from Councilwoman Goldberg and a second from Councilman Schwartz. Councilwoman Goldberg,
Abstain.
Councilman Began,
Yes.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Katz,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Thank you. 27, Councilwoman Goldberg.
So I'm going to do 27 and 28 because they're the same questions. This is for the attorney. So these are both grant applications for rehabilitation projects for low-income housing and homeless housing in Teaneck. So I just wanted to know, do these qualify towards any of our rehabilitation numbers if the grant is received and they're rehabilitated? So just so everybody knows, so we have the 431 number that was recommended to us, and then we also have the present need, which is housing that we have to rehabilitate, whether it's missing, I don't know, there's a whole criteria. But so these are rehabilitating current units. So, Mr. Attorney, do they count towards our number?
So the short version is that I don't know. I don't know. I know we've asked the our new planner. They would know the specifics of it. So we've asked them. We haven't gotten a response back yet, but I'll let the council know.
So can we try to ensure that they either count towards our 3rd round unmet need or our 4th round rehabilitation number? Can we try to work on that? Because those are both current units that we'd be rehabilitating.
We can.
Okay. I will move both of those.
Second. Roll call, please. 27.
27 and 28 we're moving.
Want to do 29 while you're at it? Goldberg?
No, we'll do it. I want to do it. Do 27 and 28 for now.
Okay,
We have a
27.
first from Councilwoman Goldberg and a second from Mayor Schwartz. Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes on 27 and abstain on 28.
yes on 27 and abstain on 28. Councilman Gahn,
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz. Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted.
29.
Okay, so my question on this is, so the funds for this is coming out of the recycling tonnage grant. So in 23, we received 35,000 from the recycling tonnage grant. I just wanted to know, kind of, this is more of a full council question. I know that this is something that the EC has been exploring. Is there any thoughts or opportunities to increase the grant funding? So the way that works is you increase your recycling tonnage. So I know this is kind of a bigger question, but I know this is something that environmental commissions have been looking. So I'm just wondering if anybody who's been on council longer has kind of explored this, because I'm just curious.
You know how many?
Councilmember Katz?
I'm sorry, I don't know this one.
All right, is everyone okay if when the EC meets, we kind of explore this?
Say it one more time.
So the tonnage grant on recycling, last year we got 35,143. So it looks like this is the only expenditure that we're using out of it, but the expenditure is 57,000, so it's more.
20,000
So-
else. You want to answer?
Right,
why?
I want to see if we can explore ways to increase our recycling tonnage so that we're at least maybe trying to break even.
We've been taking a loss for a while, but Mr. Manager, can you speak to our superintendent? Yes, for that? Thank you very much.
And I move it.
Move. So second, moved by Goldberg, second Schwartz. Roll call on 29, please.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yes.
Councilman Pecan,
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Adopted.
30.
Why are there sewer bills outstanding for 10 years on these lots and blocks? I'm not sure what the
Yes.
addresses are.
This 30th, 2025 is removing various block and lots that are in dispute as it relates to the sewer. And rather than settle a lien, receive the money from the lien holder, have to reverse it with interest. We, every year, we pull a few that have contention. One of them in particular is a building that was recently built, and the sewer bill was the utility did not bill for water for several years. This is the Teaneck Mikvah on Windsor Road, which is creating a conflict as to what they feel they should or should not pay. It's been good disputed back and forth, so the prudent thing to do while we hold this dispute is not to sell a lien, be at a risk of having to reverse a lien with interest.
Which one is that?
I don't know, it's on Windsor Road. I don't know which number, which block.
That's the second.
And what about the
second
other
one.
two?
I don't know if you tell me.
Why
the
were they,
address.
there's blocks,
I
sorry,
would not
blocks
know
and
that.
lots.
I do not know that hand. If, in general, if there's a question on any of these resolutions during business
Is there-
hours, if we address it to,
Well, this is,
I'm speaking.
okay.
We address it to the CFO during business hours, we can have an answer for you at 10 o'clock at night. So I'm gonna go ahead and move 30th, 2025 and look for a second.
Second.
Roll call,
Second.
please.
Councilwoman Goldberg,
I would like to do a yes for block 1905, lot 12, and no on the other two, and strongly suggest that we have an objective way to decide these properties since one of them is owned by a council member.
so no on the first one, yes on the other two, within the resolution.
No on 3210, because I don't know. No on 4902, lot 5, yes on 1905, lot 12.
Thank you, Councilman Pagan. Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
I'm going to abstain.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
I'm gonna say yes, but I do agree with the mayor that there are certain things that can be answered during business hours by reaching out to our subject matter experts and our department heads to get answers to. My answer is yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
30 approved.
Okay, 35. Well, this is the last one being pulled?
Yeah, I just had a question. So the vendor is being changed for the library. I just wasn't sure why.
Manager, do you want to answer that?
Vendor for.
35.
The library. Change the order to contract between the Township of Teaneck and Palpro Builders LLC for the Teaneck Library renovation project. And it was added today, so I just wasn't sure why we were doing that.
I know we have a change order for the asbestos removal.
Is that what that
So
one is?
that's what that's for, yes.
Yeah, the
Okay.
vendor, I don't believe the vendor's changing. We just need to amend some bits of the contract because they found some
The
asbestos.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Then I move it. Thank you.
Mold. So there was a motion from Councilwoman Goldberg for 35. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Pagan. Councilwoman Goldberg,
Yeah.
Councilman Pagan,
Yes.
Councilwoman G,
Yes.
Councilman Cass,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher, Deputy Mayor Organ,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. Adopted. Everything adopted. We have a few ordinances to intro. Yes, sir, Mayor. We are hearing 6 ordinances this evening. Please bear with me. We have ordinance number 1-2025, first ordinance of the year, amending section 36-11.2 of chapter 36 of the Township Code for the Township of Teaneck, adding restricted on-street parking space for handicap parking at Van Cortlandt Terrace. We have ordinance number 2-2025, amending section 36-11.2 of chapter 36 of the Township Code again for adding restricted on-street handicap parking at 263 Grayson Place. We have ordinance number 3-2025, amending the Township Code to revise development regulations regarding fences. We have ordinance number 4-2025, amending the Township Code to revise development regulations regarding fences and retaining walls. We have ordinance number 5-2025, amending the Township Code to revise parking laws on Catalpa Avenue and Ivy Court. Last but not least, we have ordinance 6-2025, amending the Township Code for the Township of Teaneck to enact a new section establishing and regulating accessory dwelling units, aka ADUs.
Mr. Mayor, before we do that, I want to just recognize Amrit for the resident on the fence, because I don't think everybody realizes the full story. So he actually reached out to me on a certain day and about fencing, and he has come to the zoning subcommittee repeatedly with changes and literally spent the last year writing this and really jumping through all the hoops. And I just think that deserved recognition because it's really impressive. I don't think many people do that. So that's it.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Thank you. Sirs, Councilwoman Goldberg.
Yes on all with an abstention on 6 because I have some questions for the attorney.
Councilman Pagan.
Yes.
Councilwoman G.
Yes.
Councilman Katz.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Belcher.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Organ.
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz. All introduced. We'll see them next meeting.
And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I
I
move to
make the
adjourn.
motion.
Second.
10:01 p.m. Everybody get home safe. Stay warm.